but food can also bring a lot of stress. Thrive Life wants to take away the stress by delivering simple, clean food right to your door. How would that help, you ask? Well, we've done some research. Approximately 1 in 42 trillion people actually like to wash, peel, and chop fruits and veggies. And approximately 1 in 56 bajillion people enjoy throwing out rotten produce.
Ew.
Our research found that a lot of the stress comes from planning meals. Although 43% of the population claims to pre-plan their meals, we found that less than 1% actually do. So, we had an idea. Let's help people not stress out about food. Enter Thrive Life. Ingredients that are pre-washed, pre-cut, and freeze-dried to lock in all those nutrients and delicious flavors, and they won't spoil in days or even weeks after buying them. Ingredients that aren't loaded with additives, preservatives, or GMOs. And for those nights that you just don't have anything planned, or frankly don't like the plans you did have, there's Simple Plate. It's a meal kit that's better than any meal kit you've experienced, according to our research. It's planned, prepped, and pre-portioned deliciousness. And it doesn't have to be made tonight. It's ready when you are. How do we do all that? It's basically magic! We start with the best produce picked at the peak of perfection. Then we freeze-dry it in the most state-of-the-art facility
in the galaxy.
We lock in the taste and nutrients so our produce is as fresh as the farmer's market, which makes it perfect for snacking, by the way. Want to try it out? Simply set up a delivery service account and start shopping. You'll become a preferred customer for free. You get all kinds of perks like free shipping. So why would you want simple, clean food delivered to your door? I think the research says it all. Enjoy simple, clean food that's ready when you are. And make sure the only thing getting spoiled here is you. Try Thrive Life tonight.
That little 29-foot RV was sure cozy, but we were so thankful to get this.
Hey
everybody from Central Texas on this gorgeous, semi-cool, hot morning from a table full in the woods. We wanted to play along with the Red Barn and Camel and Feathers for their Saturday morning hashtag Love My Farm. And this morning we wanted to share with you why we love our farm.
We love our farm because we share it with our favorite people. I'm John.
And I'm Terry.
Welcome to A Table Full in the Woods.
Grab a cup of coffee.
And you can watch some of our adventures as we raise 5 kids in an almost off-grid lifestyle.
Hey, so we're back on YouTube. Yep.
Been just a little while.
Just a little bit. It's kind of been a really long year for us.
Yeah, we're kind of
in over our head, if y'all want to know the truth. We needed to kind of focus on
us.
Our vision,
yeah,
our voice, what we wanted to share and what we didn't want to share. Anyway, but we're back and we have a vision and we know our voice and we wanted to come back on YouTube with our story. That's the first video we wanted to share with you.
Listen to him in the background. I guess I'm live. Yeah, it's Monday Night Live. Is that WWE? Who did that? It's Monday. Oh, that's Saturday Night Live.
That was Saturday Night Live.
I never watched it. What do I know?
Monday Night Live.
Anyway.
Monday Night Live was football.
I don't watch that either.
Yeah.
Not unless it was Ohio State.
But Monday Night Live
Okay.
is actually Two Family Homestead.
That's right.
We've pretty well established that.
We have.
And we have had a number of people now duplicate that where they're saying they're Monday Night Live.
We won't go into that right now. Farmer Meemaw. You need a water? Here, I have it in a jug right now. I don't have a bottle for you. These are easier. Just flip the top. Anyway.
Hey, Smudge is in the chat.
Smudge is in the chat. Oh, Lordy. Got dogs everywhere. Firefly Woods. Now, that's a cool name. I like that. There's some really neat channel names. Making lemonade from lemons. That's a good thought.
Well, that's
you know?
that's a good thing to make lemonade from.
Yeah. I would think so.
I would not think you'd want to make them from grapes.
I don't know what you can make from grapes.
Wine.
Grape juice? Wine? I have grapes back there that are canned. Maybe we should do something with those if I can find them.
You want some full-on grapes?
Oh, you used to be Firefly Moon Pie. Gotcha. Now I know who you are. Well,
we have two special guests tonight.
well, we do have two. Just two, or do
More
we
than
have?
two.
Or do we have three?
Could be three,
we
could be
not-
four.
Do we not have the wife part of?
Right now,
the Texan?
right now, the wives,
Just the one
wives.
Texan?
We,
Just the male Texan?
we just have the male Texan. We got two Georgians.
Georgians? Okay.
Okay, see. We have a little one and a big one.
That's my little girl, Ladessa.
He called you biggins.
No, he called you biggins.
Well,
So we have
if everyone doesn't already know, tonight's guest, well, the first guest is John and Terry, Life with a Tableful from Texas. And we met them, I think, in person. The first time was at the Shindig.
Yep, that's the first time we met him.
Yeah. And then our secondary, well, not secondary, our other guest host.
guest host.
Guest hosts.
Hosts. HOSTS.
We have a guest host and a guest hostess.
That's right.
Or
And
is
then-
there a different name for younger hostesses?
No, the Madam Hostess,
Yes,
In the
tax
chat.
deduction.
the Madam Hostess is chatting here. That's the child hostess.
The child hostess.
Yeah, that's the tax deduction.
The
Yeah.
tax
Are we your
deduction.
first ever guest hosts?
For Monday night, yes. So Lord knows what tonight's going to end up like, folks.
John,
Who
are you
knows?
ready?
I'm ready.
Dun dun dun.
Well, you are on the screen, sir. Say hello to everybody.
How's everybody doing? Really excited to be here. Ready to answer all your questions, although I can't see them very well.
Well, everybody make sure you put your questions in all caps.
Well, my job as the guest co-host is probably going to be to read them to you. Now, I may read them how they're typed in the chat box, or I may change some things up.
Yeah, Lord knows with those Georgians. that big bear plan. Ooh, sweet tea for everyone. That sounds good.
So tell us what's new in Texas.
And don't say it's hot.
Well, it's not new, but it's pretty hot. I think we've averaged over 100 degrees on the high side for the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
And yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, plants love it. I mean, the indigenous plants. My garden plants don't like them. I'm losing everything. My elderberries are dying. Everything I brought up to my new place is dying. I just, you can water them all you want, but the heat just bears down on them. Unless you got some shade cloth, everything's gone.
Yeah,
So.
it's 65 here right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're making it, Sherry. I miss those Midwestern end of summers.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the 70s here.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. It's 96 degrees outside right now, and it's dark.
Wow.
Well, I suppose it's a good thing it's dark at this time of night.
Well,
So do you guys use a lot of mulch in your garden? Mulch doesn't help with the heat to help keep things cool?
Yes, but I haven't got to that point yet. All my plants were potted because we just finished a move, Jason, and that move, any chance we had of replanting anything is kind of out of the question. We're kind of hoping they would kind of last to the winter. They're summer plants anyway. Elderberries only flower and berry up until August, so those plants will be fine. I think we lost our citrus trees, though. We had them in pots, and they're not doing very well.
I think Smudge has gone bonkers because there are no super chats.
What am I so I'm looking at here? Is somebody bribing the dog?
If they are, I don't see them.
Well, he said he'd do anything for a Scooby snack.
I'm telling you.
We'd like to do that, but that's future plans. Right now, we're focused on getting the homestead livable.
So what more do you have to do to get it livable?
So when we made this move, the intention was to get a persistent water source, as you saw in our about section. We had electricity at the last place. We did not know that it was going to cost so much to drop a meter because we got county water. And with the cost of the water meter, we didn't factor in and budget for the cost of putting an electric pole on there. And so that additional cost is kind of postponed us. We're trying to do this debt-free. Hey, birthday girl, look. Do you see that we're on live TV? Okay. I won't miss it. You bring it in here and show me. We'll show everybody, okay?
I was going to sing happy birthday.
Well, tell Daryl today, I didn't realize this. Today's my daughter's 6th birthday. When we scheduled this, we didn't think about that. She just came in to tell me, it's time for my present. And so...
Well, when she comes back, we're going to sing her happy birthday.
Yeah, we'll have everybody sing her happy birthday.
Yeah.
Smudge is still
That's my-
wacko, dear. No, he's not. That was right. Never mind. Go ahead, John.
I was saying electricity was a little beyond our budget. We're trying to do this debt-free, so it's just been a difficult process. So we actually, where I'm at right now, I'm staying with friends because they kindly let us stay. We have 5 kids, so that's a heck of an endeavor for someone to allow us to do. But we're really close with them, and they couldn't see us staying out on the property trying to keep a generator running. We'd burn that generator up trying to keep the air conditioner running because with the heat the way it is, bad. Now, I'm not going to lie. At night, it's tolerable, but it takes a while for the air conditioner to cool off inside.
Yeah.
And in the morning, immediately as soon as the sun comes up, it heats down, and that heat goes up above 90, and it's intolerable.
Wow.
And the generator cannot keep the air conditioner up. Yeah.
Now you got more of a dry heat out there, right? You don't really have a humid heat. Is that correct?
That is an incorrect statement, my friend.
That would be
I will
Arizona.
show you if you get the chance.
I don't remember because I'm trying to think about when I was in Texas with the Marine Corps, and I think I was there more wintertime, so I really don't remember. That's why I was asking.
Well, actually, we're at 50% humidity right now. That's not natural. I'm not accustomed to that. So, but we haven't had rain for 2 weeks, and that is customary. And when it doesn't rain, it dries up everything. Everything is like just a bramble bush.
Yeah.
No
It
leaves,
gets
everything
pretty
dies.
bad humidity-wise here also. I mean, the other day, it was like when you were outside, you were just in a wet sauna. That's all you were in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Four Blessings said it's 9 billion% humidity in Texas.
Yeah,
29 billion?
he's right. And Ed lives just 30 miles away from me. We're good friends, and he's absolutely right. He came to my place, and he helped me shred the property so we can get it prepared for the sheds to move on. It wasn't near as hot when we shredded it because we went early in the morning. You do everything on the farm before 10 a.m. so that it's not hot. Anything after that, you're going to lose weight.
Good Lord.
Well, that's a benefit for me.
Yeah, just sweat it off, huh, Jason?
Yeah, that's what we've been doing, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we've been doing here.
Well, I tell you how I keep. Not only do I homestead, but I'm a tennis coach, and I got to do that now, and it's really hot. So, yeah, the kids are not liking me. I'm a coach trying to get them to do stuff out in this 100-degree heat. But it happens, it works. The kids do it.
So I think that YouTube gold for your channel would be watching you coach tennis, especially if you're out there playing. And you got one of those epic beards.
The hard part about say that again.
Tennis ball could get lodged right in there. That would be awesome.
Well, I thought about doing something on tennis, but I'm not an expert on tennis. I just happen to be, I'm blessed to have a good head coach. He used to be the girls' head coach at Texas A&M for 26 years, and he's focusing on retirement, and this is his last gig, and so he's trying to teach me everything he can, and I truly enjoy what I'm doing. I never thought I'd love a sport as much as swimming, but I kind of got a sport I like more than swimming now. There you go.
I tried playing tennis one time. Blaze went through a phase, and I was a lot heavier then than I am now. And he hit the ball was going for the one corner of the court. Now I don't know any of the jargon. And I went running, and once I got all that weight in motion, boy, I couldn't stop. And I hit that chain link fence, and I had a bruise that ran up the side of my big old belly, up my chest. It literally looked like the chain link right there. And I said, you know what, son? I'm going to pay for you to have a coach because I ain't playing no more.
It's called a hurricane bruise.
Yeah. Man, that hurt.
I did that the first year I started playing. I struggled a lot. But you get out there and you hit a lot and you get used to it. There's another homesteader a lot of y'all know that plays tennis, and he and I, we decided if we ever run into each other at a homestead get-together, we'd play. Y'all know Josh from the city stead. He used to be a varsity tennis player, #1 on his high school team.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Funny the things you find out about these folks,
one
isn't
thing,
it?
Our school had tennis courts,
Yeah.
and they had tennis club, but it's one thing I never got into.
We could maybe start a new deal here where instead of using tennis balls, you could use something out of the garden like tomatoes.
Hey, I use a tennis racket to kill carpenter bees. Does that count?
You have to have a garden to do that with. All we have are weeds.
No,
Well, it's just a thought.
all I have is weeds, too.
Just terrible.
Tennis racket is my #1 go-to tool for carpenter bees.
You need one.
And I'll be honest with you, a little full disclosure here. The first time I picked up a tennis racket, it was the first time I picked up a tennis racket, it was to get a bat out of my house when I grew up in Indiana.
Oh, yep, that would do it. Yep. Yep.
Hey, Miss Mimsy.
Jason, do you see Four Blessings Farm comment?
Yes. Zeke is running around yelling, Big Bear.
How tall do habanero
Hey,
peppers
Minzy.
plants get? Jason, John, do you know?
What was the question?
How tall do habanero pepper plants get?
I'm going to say 36 to 40 inches.
That's about right. Maybe a little bit less.
Hey, baby? He gets hey, baby?
The habanero plant, where does it come at to you out there?
We don't
Big
have one.
bear at the table.
Big
I'm trying to
pepper.
catch up on the chat. I put my phone down so I could actually focus on the video, and I just saw that comment from
Mimsy, I thought it was meant for
Yeah.
Jason.
About 2 feet, 3 feet.
Yeah, Clawfoot Farm. We have some of those battery-operated tennis rackets. That's what Jason needs. I need to dig it out and bring it down there.
What were those? Those are trash.
I want to get one of those electric ones that they use as a fly swatter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I have.
yeah, that's what we have,
Battery-operated.
yeah.
Yeah.
The best thing to get is those salt guns. Those salt guns work really good.
He bought one.
I have one. I haven't done my
It's still in
unboxing
the
on
pack.
it
Yeah,
yet.
it's still in the package.
Yeah, I have to do my unboxing. I have to buy some ammunition for it.
Good Lord.
I have to make sure that it's approved
Yeah,
on my concealed carry license that I can have that.
Mimsy.
No.
we don't have a fly problem so much down here. Is down here in Texas, the biggest pest we have is these little bitty ants, and they are everywhere. Everywhere. You just can't get rid of them. You can't leave like body hair on the ground or body flakes or anything, and the ants are there. It's so bad. And Ed will tell you it's the truth. The ants are everywhere. Ed, Mike from Sluber's Farms, they're both like really close neighbors, and they'll tell you right where we're at in Central Texas, the ants are just the biggest pest in the world.
Sky, the salt gun will not go off in the house.
Well, that's what it's for.
Or I'll use it on his tush to get him out of the house.
I got shot with rock salt when I was a kid.
You got questions? Maybe Jason can ask those questions so I can hear them.
Let's see.
I don't see a question.
Yeah, poor boy. That's about what they are, like $4. They're real cheap.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I got one for $4.95, and it never worked. I put the batteries in, and the battery holder fell off, and yeah.
Well, Charles, good evening to
Hey,
you
old
too.
Alabama gardener. How are you? Well, that's nice. Four Blessings Farm. We have almost eradicated the ants from us to the neighbor. Man, if there's anything I would like to give to my neighbor, it'd be a pest.
Well, come in here and have a cupcake with me, will you?
Lone Star, I don't know. I've not read the instruction manual on that thing yet.
Look, Jonathan, he's not Italian, so he doesn't have to throw the salt over his shoulder.
Come on. All right. Y'all, this is my daughter, and today is her 6th birthday.
Wow. Is that a birthday cupcake?
It is.
What kind is it? Is it chocolate?
It's lemon with strawberry frosting.
Ooh, that sounds
Oh,
good.
strawberry frosting. Okay. My mistake. Do I get a bite?
Is it good? Yeah, he almost got some of that frosting on his nose.
Yeah.
No, saw me move back, huh? I don't want to eat anything with frosting with this beard because it'll end up on my beard, and I already look foolish enough. I don't want to look any worse.
Save it for later.
Look, when my beard was like that before I shaved it off, man, anytime I would try and comb it out, I was combing out food from a week before.
I take as much precautions as possible because I consider my job in front of the public every day. I have 120 students, and so yeah, I gotta stay fresh and professional. And I do my best I'm not always perfect. I get told sometimes, "What's that?" And they're pointing at my beard. I'm like, "Oh, that's lunch."
Leftovers.
Just say it's a snack for later.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to sing happy birthday.
Okay.
All right, everybody out there, close your ears.
Well, you're singing. You're singing.
You started off, Jason.
All right, here we go.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
dear.
Dear Jane.
Happy birthday to you.
Aw.
He's embarrassed.
Aw.
And many more.
Oh, look who showed up.
Oh,
All right. They done singing you happy birthday, so did you bring a chair?
No, because I only have a few minutes.
Well, look who came in. Awesome. Look who came in to join us for a little bit.
Hold on. Sorry.
Hang on just a minute. This chair is kind of really close to the door. There we go. All right.
Sorry, been doing birthday mommy duties.
yeah, we heard.
That is important duties to be doing.
Yeah, we heard you forgot.
We did. We forgot it was her birthday.
And Charles
Yeah, that's
turned
what
80
happens
yesterday.
when you have a house full, right?
Oh,
Old Alabama
A table
Gardner
full.
had a birthday.
yeah, old Alabama Gardner turned what, 80? Did you say?
Yes, he said
turned 80
80
yesterday.
Okay, I have a question. How is homeschooling going, and what program do y'all use?
So, we use a variety of things. We tend to rely on the Charlotte Mason method, and I just use an eclectic mix of things. So for math, we just switched to teaching textbooks, which is a computer-based program, which is really nice because most of my kids can just jump on and do their schoolwork, and I don't have to babysit them in math. And we use McGuffey readers from the 1800s for our language arts program, along with IEW for writing. And we use Apology for Science. In Texas, the homeschool laws are pretty awesome because you're only required to teach reading, writing, and arithmetic and good citizenship. And so until my kids get in high school, I'm not worried about like the big things like history or, American Lit or, any of those kinds of things. They have a great basic knowledge of geography and, biblical history, and less is more at this point.
She's the best teacher I know. I teach one subject, and I've taught it for 5 years, and I got really good at one subject. She teaches 5 different school levels, all courses, all year long. So, yeah, by far, she blows any teacher I know away.
Thank you.
Yeah, I give all homeschooling moms kudos.
Hey.
Homeschooling dads, too.
Yeah. 'Cause Robin just grades the papers. I do the teaching.
Yeah.
You do the teaching, Jason?
Yes.
I didn't know this.
Yes. And Blaze scored a 1380 on his SAT, so before you even start the jokes.
Well, that's a rocking score, Jason.
Yeah.
Farming our backyard, you'll find that out in a little bit.
I gotta go. There's a cupcake frosting war happening out in the living room, and if I go manage big frosting, my friend might kick us out. So anyway, be blessed.
Take
Gotta go.
care, Terry.
We see a hand coming through the door there.
You have 10 kids and 2 moms. I'm looking at a poor connection. I hope that's not a problem.
Oh, you're fine here.
You're good.
Yeah, you're okay.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, we've got to do what's the right thing to do. I took refuge in her bedroom. That's why I'm where I'm at. So that the 10 kids wouldn't be that much of a distraction. And as you can see, it isn't working out as great as it should.
Oh, I think it's just fine, and
For 10
everybody.
kids, you're going to have moments,
Yeah.
Even for 2 kids, you're going to have moments like that.
4 kids, you're gonna
Well,
have
what's
a lot of
amazing
them.
is that it's Monday, and usually the kids are laying down at 8 o'clock, but because of Jane's birthday, there's no laying down. Too much sugar.
Yep. We use Apologia too. I absolutely love that science program.
It's awesome. There's so much knowledge in it. It's
Yeah.
I don't get the whole breadth of it like she does, because she steeps in it every day. And I leave every day at like early in the morning, and I don't get back till almost dark. And so when we have this habit, when I come home, my wife will say, so let's talk about your day. And I give them about 10 minutes of what my day was like, and then they tell me how their day went and if they had any struggles with anything. And I'm supposed to tutor the older boy in math, but he seems to be doing fine, so I don't think that's going to be necessary yet.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it goes later on.
Now, his school year is just starting, right?
Yeah, I just started last week public school, and my kids, we're in a co-op, a homeschool co-op. That's a group of parents that get together and they teach all the kids the different subjects they feel like they need to teach them. And so our two older kids one of them is taking a high school, I think he's taking a high school science, biology, by Apologia, and the other one's taking 7th grade science, I don't know. But the rest of the courses are all on level. My oldest boy's in 8th grade, my daughter's in 7th grade, and the other kids are in 4th and 3rd and 1st, I think. Yeah. It's hard to remember all my kids' grades. I can't remember their names. I think my youngest daughter thinks her name is Colton, Corbin, Jake, Leah,
Yep.
Carlin. You know, I get through 7 names before I get to her name. So.
And with
that with
homeschooling,
grandkids.
it's hard to lob them in one grade, because if they excel in one subject, you fan that fire, and so they could just keep on going. But on the other side of the coin, if they're really struggling with one, you can really take your time to help build that foundation and get them strong in that subject, so that way they're not struggling their entire life.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Terry did this awesome thing. She purchased a book called Learn to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. And one of our daughters, our 10-year-old now, she didn't even start talking until she was 3 years old. And we've come to find out she was one of our 3 children that are hard of hearing. They all wear hearing aids. But she struggled just to socially get along. We put her in public school kindergarten, and the kindergarten teacher was going to fail her. And we're like, we yanked her out. And Terry taught her to read using this method. It's phenomenal. She's taught all of our kids to read using this method. Well, not the older kids. The older kids kind of learned to read on their own. They were in public school, and a really good public school up in Nashville, Tennessee. But down here, we tried the public school thing, and I'm a public school high school teacher, and I knew what direction they were going towards, and that was part of the reason we made the decision. Mm-hmm. And so we homeschool all our kids.
Daryl, it's halfway through. Why don't we do the first
Well,
question?
if you notice, I have it pulled up over here.
Pulled up. There
Pulled
we
up
go.
over here to go.
Okie dokie.
And let me just first state, BC, I saw your comment. We appreciate it. Damn it, Brad. And
What did he say?
He thought his name was Damn It Brad until it was 15.
And we have just a little bit of a weak connection to Texas right now, but the stream out of here is okay.
Of Little and Light, I know a few sign things, but I don't think they're in the actual ASL.
We know sign.
Let's just put it that way.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get the trivia brought up here.
Let's do the trivia.
All right, so we'll get it going here.
Well, hi, folks. It's trivia time again. And we have to have some rules for this, so they are as follows. Number 1, you can only win once every 4 weeks. Number 2, you must be the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat window as it appears embedded on the screen here. your chat window may have a different order. And number 3, you have to send an email to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. Send us your mailing address so we know where to send your winnings. Good luck.
Okay. So,
Okay, I got a question.
you have a question?
Yeah. Is the whole reason why you guys invited me to be the co-host tonight is because the answer to the trivia question is actually cheesecake for the first time?
No.
No. No. Jason, we don't make the trivia questions.
If you knew the question, it's kind of funny.
Okay, so let me just kind of reiterate here just a moment. The official order chat is what you see on the screen right now. What your chat window will most certainly have a different order. This is due to lag in the internet and the way the computers work with the browsers and caching and so on and so forth. So the official order chat is what you see on the screen. This way is as fair as we can be for everybody, and you can always go back and see who, if we screwed up.
Yes, Patty, he does
Patty, he does what?
have cheesecake on the brain.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Uh-huh.
All right. So the first question for tonight is, what subject do I teach in high school? Now, this is John asking, what subject does he teach in high school?
Oh, that's not fair.
Nah, Jason, I don't teach cheesecake.
Off-kilter homestead.
Off-kilter homestead. Okay, off-kilter homestead. Please send us an email, twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com.
Somebody just brought up Mimsy. Patty Gilbert has a wonderful keto cheesecake recipe, and I have it.
Okay.
Okay, are we done with the question?
Yeah, we're done with the question.
We're done with the question.
Little and Light brought up about sign language.
Mm-hmm.
Before our girls could talk, we were teaching them sign. And that was the best thing that we ever done, because when they were like super little and not really talking, they could communicate. If Carol wanted popcorn, she would be going around saying popcorn. If she wanted a drink, she would go like this for a drink, or if she wanted a banana, she would go like that for banana. And it saved so many, how they have the complete breakdowns that toddlers and little ones have, that because they were able to communicate, they were able to sign what they wanted, and it was a life changer. That it happened in front of a lot of Robin's family, and now it's almost like it's a tradition on her side of the family that when the baby is born, they automatically start signing as they're talking. Now, because the baby will pick up on the sign faster than it will the words.
When Daryl's daughter, when they had Saber is now 5, but when he was toddler, he was taught sign language also, and they did it at the daycare.
Yeah, daycare level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
huge game changer in parenting.
I have the phone lines open. The number is on the screen, and the way that it works is you simply dial the number. It is your nickel, and it is going through a service, and you have to enter the meeting number. You'll be placed into a waiting room, and when
and you don't have to put a gown on just because it's a waiting room.
Just because it's a waiting room, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, question. How did this is coming from Four Blessings Farm. How did the bees handle the move to the new place?
Oh, let me tell you, when you don't have a hive moving instrument, you have to put your hands on the hive, and if you don't look carefully at the hive, you don't see all the bearding. And we did it at like 10 o'clock at night, hoping the bees all went into their hive, and They didn't. We closed up the hive as best we could, and my son didn't get the screw all the way down on the screen, and so the bees were able to get out, and they bearded underneath the bottom of the hive. And so when I went and picked it up, even though I had those beehive gloves on, I had like 70 bees try to sting my hand, and 7 got through, and my hand swelled up like a balloon. But we got it moved.
Oh my Lord.
We still got ours still out in the swarm traps because as soon as we caught them shortly after the shindig, and then we had so many things happen that we just didn't have a place to put them. And now they've basically taken these swarm traps and turned them into a mini hive. And we are literally waiting for it to get cool enough for them to go in at night, so that way we can come in and lower them out of the tree.
Well, Jason, if you're at 70 degrees, it's cool enough. I'm telling you right now.
They're staying out.
Really?
Yeah, they're staying out fanning.
They probably got a good food source then. So, or either that or your hive's not big enough for them and they need more room.
That's probably what I'm betting it may be, and I might just have to suck it up and bring them down. And what I lose, I lose, and get them into a big deep.
I probably lost a good 4,000 bees in the move. It wasn't a lot of fun because that screen was off. All the bees tried to come out.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have a caller here, so the phone number that ends in 206. This is Daryl. Who's calling, please?
It's somebody wanting to talk to Primo.
Okay.
What's
well,
up,
you go right ahead. He is right here, and he can hear you.
I was waiting for a facial reaction.
I hear you. I'm listening.
I wanted to aggravate you a little bit. I wanted to aggravate Jason, too, because Primo created history at the Bayou Bash. And I can't hear him.
He created history?
I'm trying to listen off of Terry's phone. Sorry, y'all. Yeah.
Dun,
I
dun,
can't hear.
dun. Turn off your YouTube.
So, Jason.
Yes.
Did you realize that John was the troublemaker that night?
What? No, he wasn't a troublemaker. He was an instigator. Big difference.
The instigator.
What did I instigate? I'm not privy to this.
When we went...
Yeah, we made history, John. We had...
When you guys went live...
Big Bear.
Live show...
Oh, that's right. We did a live of a live.
Yeah.
That's right. I was the instigator. I remember now. Mimsy was doing her live, and I was on her live, and then I said, "Hey, wait, Jason's live too. Let's go mess with his live." And I told him, "Hey, Jason, nobody's on your live because they're on Mimsy's live." And so Jason saw it. And he's like, "Hey, wait a second. Oh, wait a second. What's up? You got a present? Awesome. Hey, I'm talking to some people, okay? I love you. Give me kisses. Give me kisses. All right.
So we had an
Those of
awesome
you that
time,
haven't
and
been
Mama
watching,
Mimsy
today's
and
my daughter's 6th
Wanderlust was
birthday. And
there.
I didn't realize when we scheduled this that it was a birthday. Sorry, Mimsy. But yeah, so we had a live during a live, and one live was on the other live, and the other live was on the other live. And Jason turned his computer around so that we could see both lives. It was funny. You had to be there, I guess.
And Chris from Single Dad was in the back dancing to Michael Jackson.
Yep, that's right.
That was a good time.
All right, I just wanted to aggravate y'all. I'm going to let somebody else that really has something important to talk about call y'all. Y'all have a great night.
Take care, Anna.
I never mind being aggravated by you, Anna. You can do it anytime you want.
That's because she don't call you about computer questions.
I love you, Jason.
I wear aprons. Hello. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. Phone
Does
lines
anybody
are
else
open.
want to ask me a question?
Yep, questions. Phone line is open. Let's get some difficult questions going here.
You know, I had a question for you before Mimsy called, and I was like, now I'm like, what was my question?
I don't know, but you need to call in, Jason.
Jason.
What part of Texas are you in? BC Truck wants to know.
We are in Central Texas. Bryan College Station is the area we live around, but we're way outside of Bryan College Station. I work in Bryan, and I commute. I actually live probably the same distance from Bryan as I do from where Ed lives, from Four Blessings. And Ed, he commutes to Austin to work. So if that tells you, that's right about where we're at.
I got a question. How many times during a school year do you go from one end of the spectrum to the other one? What I mean by that is how many times during the school year are you like, I love my job? And then there's other times during the school year that the kids are being so aggravating or just not gaining a concept that you're like, I need to retire.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. It's full disclosure. I've only been teaching for this is my 6th year in public teaching. And the first year was the worst. And you talk to any educator, the first year is always the worst. And as long as you learn from your mistakes, it always gets better. Now, there are some knuckleheads you're going to get that no matter how much you try to teach them and engage them, they're just not going to get it because they don't want to learn. There has to be a desire to learn in order to actually grasp no concept. It doesn't matter what method you use. It doesn't matter how you try to engage the student. It doesn't matter what, whatever you're doing to try to get them to understand. If they don't want to learn, they're not going to learn. And fortunately for most educators, the percentage of students that are like that are usually very slim. As long as you engage them and find some common ground, I have a lot of students where I teach that are, well, I can't say underprivileged because you say they're underprivileged, but they're carrying a $600 and $700 phone. That's just the culture, and you get used to it. But I have a lot of students that are single parents, and I have a lot of students that are just trying to get by, and I make it my point to relate to them at the level they're at, or try to. Yes, I'm college educated, but I came from very poor roots. Rural Indiana, I was raised up very poor, and my pipes froze almost every winter, and I got accustomed to going to my neighbor's house to get water. And you rely on your community, and that's why when I got into this homesteading community, the community that loves us so much, it's great. I try to relate that same situation in my classroom. I try to love on my students, and if they learn, I'm successful. Fortunately, I have a lot of students that have graduated that come back and visit me, and they'll reach out to me via social media, and it's a love affair of the student. You have to love the student. You can't love where they're at. You got to love where they're going. I think can y'all still see me?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah, you're fine
Okay.
here.
Everything on the Skype call froze, and the YouTube is fine. I just had to pick up my phone, but the Skype just froze. As long as you're seeing me, I don't care.
Yeah, it's okay on this end.
Do you feel like that your hands have been tied as a teacher with having to beg, borrow, and go out and buy your own supplies, and you're allowed to teach this thing but not this thing? I mean, I'm assuming that's the way it is in Texas because it seems like it's that way everywhere. And you feel like you just don't get enough freedom to just teach?
Well, I'm fortunate to teach a course that allows me a little latitude. The way I teach is this way. I do everything on computers. My entire lesson, my lecture is on a video. I let the kids, they get to watch it at their leisure, and they come in and they take their assignment. It's all on computers too. If they have trouble, I go and I help them. It's been a 4-year process getting it to this point. It's called a flipped classroom, but it works out wonderfully, and it helps me actually give those students that need one-on-one help that one-on-one help they need. And it's been wonderful. It takes a lot of work to get to that point. I mean, I had to create all my assignments, and I've been teaching the same lesson for a while. And right now, because of my experience with YouTube the past year and a half, I was able to start making YouTube videos, and I have my own YouTube channel for my school. Sadly, it's on my school account, so if I ever stop teaching, that account will probably go away. I won't be able to access that account if I leave the district. So, but they're all on there, and it's under my name. If you know my name, you can find it easy. Just look up my name, and it's there, and you'll see the course I teach.
What got you guys into homesteading? Because you don't. I think you're probably the only public school teacher in the homesteading community.
That's not true.
Huh?
Because Haas, Off Kilter Homestead, he's a public school teacher. If you know who Tom Copeland, Whistle Thicket, he's a public school teacher. There's several of us out there. I can't think but those two, because I know the guys that teach. I don't really relate with the girls that teach, because they have a different teaching method and a different teaching style. And I haven't met a lot of homeschool teachers or homesteading public school teachers that are female, probably because they don't announce it that much. I'm very proud of the fact that I'm a public school teacher, because I look at it this way. With all the things that are going on, we talked about hands being tied and stuff. Somebody's got to be out there and be a voice of truth. And with all the rhetoric you hear about what they're indoctrinating the students into, you have to give them a vision of truth, and that's what I do. I teach a course called Advanced Quantitative Reasoning. That's just a big name. It's a practical application of all the math that they've learned the last several years. One of the things I teach at the end of the year is finance and personal budgeting. And throughout the year, I tell them this. Too often, parents, educators, and dignitaries, anybody in the society, public eye, is telling everybody, in order to get a good job, you have to have a college education. And I tell them at the beginning of the school year, it's their senior year, I tell them all, look, going to college is a choice. And I would not give anybody any fault for wanting to do that. However, if you think you have to go to college to get a good job, that thought process is incorrect. Because, and this is one thing I get very clear to them, number one, those people out there that are trying to recruit you to go to a college, they don't want you to be educated. They want your money. And that's the truth. Here's the deal. Once they get your money, they don't care what you learn. Yes, they have to keep their accreditation by having students graduate. But if you're not doing what you need to do to get your grades to a certain level, they'll just kick you out. And guess what? You don't get a refund. They keep your money. So all they're out to do is get your money. And that's the truth.
I applaud you for telling them that. There is a lot of trade jobs out there that these young men and women can go to a trade school for a year or two and then do an internship or on-the-job training, and they're walking right into $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year.
Absolutely.
And there's millions of those jobs open.
We have a great trades program at the school I teach at. One of my fellow teachers teaches welding. He's got guys that are certified in welding. We have a cosmetology school. I had a girl in my class last year. She graduated from high school with the Texas State cosmetology license. She was ready to go as soon as she walked out the door. We have a building constructions people. We do skills. I had a kid that was in my class, and a fellow faculty member, good friend of mine too, teaches computer science. He left out of our school with a Java instructor, a Java certification. I mean, he was working on his Microsoft ABC or A license, and he didn't have any college at all. He just all did it in high school. And so, there's phenomenal things you can do. As a matter of fact, you pointed out the apprenticeship thing. I have a kid, this family that I'm staying with right now, their 16-year-old son is a plumber's apprentice. He's a homeschool kid. I take him down to Bryan College Station where we're at. He gets in a truck with the crew, goes down to Katy, and he works with the plumbing crew. He's working on his apprenticeship right now, making $10 an hour. He'll have his journeyman's license before he's 21. You know what that means? We're talking $25, $35 an hour. I don't know why kids are worried about it. I tell them all, this is funny too. I was telling the kids in my class about this young man I just mentioned, and one of the girls says, "What's he look like?" And I said, "He's blonde hair and blue eyed." "Oh, can I meet him?" I'm like, no, that's not cool. But they get it. I mean, these kids are starting to realize that the whole concept of getting an education just by going to a higher education is not everything that it's cut out to be.
Well, they really started preaching that with our generation back when we were in school.
Yes, they did, and it's stuck around. And
yeah,
I wish I'd have known that I could have gone to my neighbor's shop and learned how to run a lathe and become a CNC machinist, making $160,000 to $275,000 a year, instead of going to school. And I still owe. I mean, I'm 52 years old, and I still owe over $60,000 in student loan debt. And I graduated in 2010.
Wow.
Yeah, Daryl's sister has a college education. Never used it.
Yeah.
Never.
Well, look, Robin graduated from the University of Arkansas with a double major in psychology and theology, I think was the other one. And she does nothing with those two degrees. She works in sales now.
Yeah, but she uses them on you, Jason.
No, she don't.
She loses. Well, my degree is in management, and then I have a master's degree in business administration, and I teach mathematics. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm glad I went to teaching because I really enjoy doing it.
Yeah, I think teachers have, especially with public school teachers, especially in today's public schools, I think you guys have a special calling, because it's not like it was back when we went through school. They just recently, at least around here, within the last 5 years or so, they just started bringing the shop classes back, the auto mechanics, the wood shop, the metalworking, the cosmetology. They started bringing all that back because after us, they kind of faded that out because it was all college preparatory. You got to go to college. You got to go to college. You got to go to college. And when the recession hit in 2008, there was like 3.4 million trade jobs out there that were starting at $20, $25 an hour. And that's what got it. That's what got the education system from my understanding, coming back around to bringing these things. Because when I graduated high school, I had my forklift driver's license. I was certified with small engines, and I could do just about anything in a wood shop, And I went off to the Marine Corps because I did not want to go to school anymore. I didn't like it in high school. I hung out in the vocational wing. I graduated with a vocational high school diploma and joined Uncle Sam's motorcycle club and never looked back. you know? And
I see in the chat here where apparently Tennessee gives every student 2 years of college free. Now, isn't there something in New York that way as well, where they get some free education?
California.
I think New York. I think B Lady was talking about that before.
So I want to point out something Jason said about how public teachers have to have a calling. I think my favorite high school teacher was my band director. I was an accomplished trumpet player in high school and in college, but I kind of had to let it go when I had to get braces. Long story. But she told me when she found out that I became a teacher that I should never expect to be wealthy and that I'll probably retire penniless, but that I'll love every minute of it. And so far, she's right. I'm trying to be debt free because I know that there's not a lot of money coming in, and but I love every minute of it. It's absolutely a calling, and I really wish I would. And I'll tell you a good example of this. That guy was telling you that was teaching the kids how to do the programming portion of computer programming. He and I became friends, and we did a research project at Texas A&M. And I got close to him, talking to him about his life. He was a computer programmer at NASA down in Houston, and he was getting a high dollar salary. And he kept getting these kids coming in that have these degrees in computer science, and they just didn't know what they were doing. They couldn't problem solve. And so he and his buddy looked at each other at NASA, and they're like, what are we going to do about this? And he goes, well, I know what I'm going to do about it. I've got enough money set aside in my nest egg, and I'm going to go become a teacher. And that's what he did. And now not only does he teach at our school, but he helps write the state computer science test for the content.
Cool.
And it's really good to have a friend like that. He keeps telling me I need to take a computer science content test to become a teacher and do that too. But just because I got computer science under my belt doesn't mean I need to teach it.
I'm watching the chat here, and there is just a tremendous amount of untapped talent in this community, where people are educated, they've gone to school for this, and it's just never been utilized.
Yeah,
it's true.
Our one daughter-in-law is a teacher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Trish teaches fourth, fifth grade.
Yeah, and she has taught, but it's always been elementary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have known it was my calling from a long time ago. My mom told me, and I've looked through my ancestry, and everybody in my family, all the way on my mom's side, has either been a teacher or a preacher. My aunt was a teacher. My cousin three of my cousins are teachers, and they all grew up away from me. I didn't really get to know them. They were in Oklahoma. And so, yeah, I mean, I should have been a teacher a long time ago. If I'd have known it would have been this much fun, I'd have done it a long time ago.
I got a friend who she lives up in Baltimore, but she's my best friend's wife, and she's a public school teacher up north. And I don't know, maybe there's a huge difference between public education in the South versus public education up north. But I'm hearing and seeing all of this passion coming from you when it's constantly with her. A lot of her Facebook posts and stuff like that is the complete opposite end of the coin. And to me, it seems like she does not get a lot of support from the public school system up there, from the Board of Education. And I think that really makes a huge difference, because I think it's very easy nowadays. At least, I mean, I'm saying, talking like I know, but I would assume that it's very easy being a public school teacher that burnout happens a whole lot faster than it did 15, 20 years ago.
Well, the school I teach at hasn't always been a stellar school. Like I said, I teach a lot of single parents, but My first year there, like I said, was the worst. I mean, there were fights in the hallway all the time. One of my favorite fellow teachers, a young gentleman, if you ever watch Netflix, I can't think of the name of it, the Ultimate Beastmaster, that's it. He was one of the contestants on it, and I taught with him at the school I teach at, and he's back in the district. We have a new CTE wing. Jason, you'd love this. They have a whole school on the other side of town just for vocational technology. They got he teaches robot building. I don't know what that is, but that's what he does.
Nice.
But he's ripped. This dude is he's phenomenal. He actually did that training with me and the other guy at Texas A&M, the RET, Research Experience for Teachers. And there's a passion in this area to love doing what you're doing. He left the school because there were so many fights. And he broke up a lot of the fights. He's a big dude. And he broke up so many fights, he was afraid that, he was going to get hurt. So he went to one of the other schools down in College Station, and he taught down there for a couple years. And then he went to Beaumont. He was the head gymnastics teacher, and he just came back to the district to work at this new wing. I kind of wish I taught something like that so I can go out to that wing, because it's got not just our district schools. Some of the area district schools are coming to that CTE wing. So that's an awesome endeavor for our district to do, and it's unheard of, and we're getting nationally recognized for it. It's only in the first year and just opens its doors last week. So I'm really excited about what's in store for my district. I've never been this excited about teaching school. Let's just put it that way.
Cool.
Don't lose that passion, my friend, because the future of our country depends. It literally falls on the shoulders and the backs of individuals like you.
Right. I like to think of it like this, every profession had to have a teacher.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
So it's really up to the parent whether they want to tell them, hey, you want to go to public school, you want to go homeschool. I'm kind of 6 in one hand, half dozen the other. I want my kids to be public school. That's my personal opinion. I would never push anyone to try to homeschool their kids. I would never say that no one's capable of doing it. I just think some are better prepared and better prepared to teach their kids at home. Some people, they want all the things. They want to homeschool and they want to have a full-time job. That's just not practical. It can't happen. I would love to be my kid's math teacher, but I'm already 140 kids' math teachers. So. Hey, what's going on? All right?
Second question?
Yeah, it sounds like a birthday party there.
Yeah, it sounds like a birthday party. Imagine that.
All right. Hey, Smudge has been nudging me over here. He's ready to do this other trivia question, so let's let him come up here. All right, here we go.
Well, hi, folks. It's trivia time again, and we have to have some rules for this, so they are as follows. Number 1, you can only win once every 4 weeks. Number 2, you must be the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat window as it appears embedded on the screen here. Your chat window may have a different order. And number 3, you have to send an email to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. Send us your mailing address so we know where to send your winnings. Good luck.
Okay. So let me just reiterate here. The official order chat is up on the window. That's what we have to go by here, because your order on your computer or tablet or phone is probably different than your neighbors and everybody else's. They all kind of come uniquely in that fashion. So, second question, if everybody's ready.
Cheesecake.
No, it is not. Here we go. What utility did we have in the woods?
Hey, can I do the Jeopardy music? None of those are right?
Nope.
Here. And this.
Isn't that more specific? Jessica?
No, it would be electric.
Okay, well then you better scroll up. 'cause
Well,
that was-
it's Michelle P.
Okay.
That is correct, isn't it, John?
It's 4 blessings.
No. Are you looking? You have to watch on our.
I am. Your screen.
You're correct. Yes, electric was, and I just scroll back up to the electric. 4 Blessings Farm. Electric was the correct answer.
You scrolled back up?
It's 4 Blessings Farm.
Yeah, they were the very first one. At least on mine, anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yep.
So 4 Blessings Farm.
Yep.
Yeah, you were so far up there, and I don't know. I blinked and it went by. So, but 4 Blessings Farm, please send us an email to familyhomestead@gmail.com. And if you all can't tell, we have a guest host on here tonight, Mr. Jason Rear from Big Bear Homestead. And so we're doing things, it's just a little bit different for me, but in having phone lines open, having connections to Texas and connections to Georgia and connections to YouTube and other places as well. So anyway, I have my hands full, but we certainly appreciate you all playing here. And for right now, we are going to get back to, we'll keep the phone lines open for a little bit. John, you got some more time, do you not?
I do.
All right.
I do.
I know because of his job, we can't keep him up too late. He has to be
I'll
wide.
be fine.
Okay.
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
So, John, I actually have 2 teachers that I can remember that actually were able to, in some way, shape, or form, reach in and snatch me and shake me a little bit. That actually made a difference in my life. My one was my very first biology teacher in high school. His name was Mr. Love. And my other one was, I was back in 5th grade, and back then, 5th grade, they one teacher pretty much just taught everything. And his name was Mr. Mandaraki, and it was at Perkiomen Valley Middle School in Pennsylvania, because Daddy was in the Marine Corps. We were bouncing around all over the place. And I think one of the reasons why he made such an impact on me is because he was in charge of the science club, and back then it was all about the space shuttle. And 5th grade for me was 86. And so if you don't remember what happened in 86, that's when the space shuttle Challenger exploded.
That's when my youngest son was born, Jason.
Thanks.
You're
Needed
welcome.
that one. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
All of that to say,
before that.
Do you have a teacher that was that way for you? And do they know that you're a teacher now? And do you lean on them for their experience and their wisdom through teaching? And do you know if you've been that teacher yet for one of your students?
Okay, I can think of several teachers that grabbed me. First one, Mike Costello. He was my 6th grade teacher. And he's a big Italian man. When I say big, he was about 6'3", glasses, big freaking curly afro. We're thinking this is 1977, okay? 78, I don't know. But it's the first time that I realized I was a rude jerk. Pulled me aside and said, "You realize what you're doing, son, right?" First of all, my parents got divorced when I was 10, so I didn't really have a father figure except my brother, and that wasn't much of one. So he is the first one to kind of set me on straight and said, look, your life is better than this. The pathway you're taking is not going to take you. And this is rural Indiana. I don't know what he thought about me, but it really encouraged me to do more. The second one was my 8th grade English teacher, Connie Adams. Now, Mike has passed away since, but I will tell you about this, and I'll tell you about Connie in a second. But Mike, he became a principal, and when he found out that I became a teacher back in 2014, he reached out to me via Facebook, and he said, hey, look, I remember you. We need good teachers, and I know what kind of person you are. I'd like for you to come back and teach at the high school here where you're from. Well, the move and the cost I would take and pay cut was just way too much. And about 2 years later, he passed away, so that connection was gone. The other teacher would be Connie Adams, and I'm still connected with her on Facebook. She's my 8th grade English teacher. She introduced me to an author that was voted the best author of the 20th century, J.R.R. Tolkien. She put The Hobbit in my hand, and I absolutely loved the entire book. I read every book that Tolkien read or wrote, and I wrote research papers on them, and I really got into it. And for a brief moment, I thought I was going to become an English teacher. And then I realized all the courses I'd have to take in English, and I'm like, nah, screw that. I'll become But those are the two ones. The last one would be Mrs. Gibbs, my band director. I had her from 6th grade all the way through high school, and she encouraged me to play trumpet. And by my senior year, I made All-State in Indiana, and I really enjoyed playing the trumpet. My family's very musically inclined. I wish my kids, I wish I could afford lessons for them. The great part about homeschooling is that you can teach them any way you want to. The bad part about homeschooling is you don't have the money the public school networks have. So teaching them music, it has to be something that you really enjoy doing. And I don't enjoy teaching music. Ed from Four Blessings, his wife is a very good singer, and I'm sure his kids will be very good singers because I've heard him sing and he can wake up the dead. So I'm glad that that's good for them.
So I was watching the chat while he was talking, and I had to restrain myself from timing a lot of people out. They were like, I was in the 3rd grade, or the tragedy with the Challenger was 10 years before I was even born.
Well, you have to understand the students I teach now, they were not around when 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
So that's ancient history to them.
Yeah. Well, you figure our generation has probably lived through more than any other generation beforehand. Because like when I was born, you know, Elvis just died, or I was like 1 when Elvis died. Or went home, however you want to say it. Reagan got shot. The Challenger happened. Space Shuttle Columbia happened. What else was there?
Walked on the moon.
No, that was my parents' generation.
I was going to say, that's before him.
The Berlin Wall came down. The Cold War ended. Right. You know? There was 2 Germanys when I was coming up.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. I told them where the steroid, because I have tennis players and they always question about anabolic steroids, and I said, look up the East German swim team. Tell me that's not a man.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, remember that?
Yeah.
The girl would get up on the post, she'd get up there to start, and she like a horse, you know.
Oh, let's see. We lived, the drive-ins were still somewhat in effect when we were coming up. Like my very first drive-in movie theater experience was The Terminator.
I'm glad you were talking about movies, Jason.
Really?
My very first drive-in movie theater was the Towering Inferno.
Oh, Lord. I went to the movies to see that.
That kind of ages me a little bit.
Tried the Birds.
Oh.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock.
My mother sent me on a date with my sister and whoever it was, and she wouldn't let her go to the drive-in unless she took me. I was in the back seat on the floor most of the time.
And there was
just scared the
and there was
crap out
no
of me.
internet back then.
Nope.
No.
No internet.
But they had intermission with these X-rated hot dogs and buns.
Yep.
They won't have those on now.
And
a phone call took you 5 minutes to make because he had to dial.
That's right. And phones had cords. You knew you were rich if you had a 25 cord and you take privacy in it and you stretch the cord as far as you could.
Yeah.
Yep. And if your mom was trying to plan your birthday party and you come running through the house and she was in another room with the cord stretched, you got clothesline because you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, Patty, that's true. I hated that movie. That's why I stayed in the back seat on the floor. Yeah. Yeah.
I remember riding in the back of the back window from San Diego, California to Indiana to go visit my grandpa when I was 4 years old. We don't even know what seatbelts were back then.
No, well, the back window of the car had its own dashboard that you could climb up there and just
it was huge.
Well, half
half
of these folks don't remember party lines or picking up or picking or well, yeah, Indiana you would, or picking up the phone and listening to your neighbor's conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no such thing as privacy.
Not back then.
Well, my grandmother's phone did not have a dial.
Oh, that's when you picked it up and went straight to an operator.
Went straight to an operator.
That was Lily Tomlin in the big chair.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's true, Ed. Yeah, I don't think half the younger generation know what a letter is.
You know, Jason, I think you asked me once earlier in this broadcast why we became homesteaders. Isn't that right?
Yes.
And I don't think I ever answered that.
I don't think you did either.
Well, kind of like teaching, it was a calling. Initially, I tell you what it was. We had some really good success. We were living in Bryan, Texas, just outside of town. We had 1 acre. And we grew a garden. We started buying chickens, and if anybody knows about chicken math, my wife, I had to keep her away from Tractor Supply. We ended up with 72 chicken, about 20 quail, 17 ducks at one point. We had a few guinea, and she was on the road to go get geese and turkey. And I don't know. And she started feeling this urge to do something else. I think what really brought it on, and Jason, you probably appreciate this more than anyone. I read a book by I can't think of his name, but it's called 1 Second After, and it was just totally eye-opening. It was scary. It was. Have you heard of the book, Jason?
Yes, I heard of it. I have not read that one. I was a big Angry American fan. The Going Home series. But I heard about that book. I heard lots of people like Deep South talked about that book. A lot of different people talked about that book, and they said that book is what got them started.
It's by David Fortune. David Fortune, and it's fiction, but the gentleman did a lot of research, and he had a lot of inside information from the U.S. Navy about how our infrastructure here in the United States is, and it's a what-if story. Hypothetically, what would happen if some other country or some other enemy decided to drop a nuclear bomb in our stratosphere? Strategically placed throughout the nation, 3 of them, it would drop us to 150 years ago. Our infrastructure would end. We'd have no electricity. Like 95% of the cars would stop working. And our on-time inventory system that keeps us alive will just stop. And it talks about what would happen. And in 1 year, 95% of the population would die. And that's the truth. And a lot of people don't understand that. And that's what made us want to buy some more property and start growing our own food. And we had the mindset of prepper. And we got out there, and without water, my wife realized that being a prepper ain't all it's cracked up to be. And so after 19 months, we just decided we'd go back on the grid and then work towards it slowly. So hoping that nothing crazy like that happens. It's a 3-book series. The first book is 1 second after, the second book is 1 year after, and the last book is the final day. And I've read them all, and it's just very, very frightening.
I'm going to have to look into those. I've heard just great things about them. The Going Home series was phenomenal. But to carry on, that's why we started our YouTube channels, because we were coming from a preparedness mindset. And I looked at it as, if I can start to teach people to be able to do some of this stuff on their own, then I don't have to shoot them in the face when they come and try and take my stuff, because they're going to have their own stuff.
Right.
You know, and that's what really started our YouTube channel. And we were the very first homesteading YouTube channel on YouTube. There was, because when we were learning stuff, it was expensive and hard, because there was nobody else out there. If they were doing it, they weren't putting it on YouTube. And we learned a lot about hand milking cows just by Heartbreak Ridge. We learned a lot of we did a lot of gardening mistakes, a lot of pig identification. Oh, that was a huge one for us. We got taken for a ride on that one, you know. And but yeah, that's, I mean, we basically started this journey that almost same way that you guys did, but we went at it from a whole different point of view, with the YouTube being the you know, we came at it, and we still do teaching. Our best videos are not our vlogs and stuff. They're our teaching videos.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I did a DIY on an air conditioning in an RV, and that's my best video. And I mean, it was like one of the very first ones I did, and it's got so many views, it's crazy compared to the rest of them.
Yeah.
And I get some negative viewpoints from it. It doesn't matter. I mean, the fact that it's popular is making me happy. It's not viral, but you know, the DIY is where we started. I wanted to do that, and I was going to start another channel altogether, but I realized that would be pointless. But I get it. A fascinating point about that book series, Jason and Daryl, is that its setting is right outside of Asheville, North Carolina, where all these homesteaders are at.
That's funny. My wife goes into Asheville to sell granite at least once a week.
My son lives up. My second oldest son lives in Asheville.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to go visit him, but you know, there's too much in the way to go, and I'm trying to get this homestead going.
Yep.
He's where I'd like to be, but I like Texas too much.
There was something else I was getting ready to ask you, and I forgot about now too.
Okay, well, while you're thinking about that, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Okay. What's your 5-year plan on the property that you're currently at this point?
Okay. So one thing, the first step is to make sure we have a livable place, and that's the biggest hurdle right now. Getting a livable place. That means water, electricity. We've had some really good people help us out. So many of you know who Blake Kirby is, Daddy Curbs. He's been a really good friend, just, I mean, to encourage us, but he's introduced us to so many people, and some of his fans became our fans. And that another point of this community that I like so much is they don't choose one homesteader over another. They love us all. And if you've ever heard of Tim Turner, he's gone out of his way. He realized we had a situation. We priced a septic system $6,000, and that's just another expense that we're going to have. And in the state of Texas, if you're never familiar with an aeration system, which is what we'd have to have, we'd have to keep yearly upkeep on it and pay a subscription fee for someone to come out and check it. And so I wasn't into all that, and I was thinking just I'll do my own thing. But the property I bought is close to a well for the county, so I can't. And what he did was he gave us an incinerator toilet. You may have seen that on Facebook, but that incinerator toilet is awesome. Hey, what's up here? Yeah, put your shirt on. I'm on live TV. Sorry. Interruptions again. Birthday party. But he gave us an incinerator toilet, so as soon as we get electricity, we've got a toilet. If you don't know how that works, feces goes in, it drops into a pot, and fire burns it at a very hot temperature, and there's no smoke, and you pull it out after you're done and throw it away. Literally no waste.
Well, no after waste.
Yeah, no after waste, right. Nothing that's horrible. Phoenix, come on. Come here. Phoenix, come on.
Now, wait. Let me see if I can wrap my brain around this. When you drop a deuce, it goes into a pot. And this pot cooks the poo to where there's nothing left. Is it like a flash burn, or is this like a all-day crock pot kind of thing?
No. You can make it burn from 15 to 75 minutes. It depends on how much poo you do.
After eating a lot of fermented food, bro.
It'll take care of it. It will take care of it, I promise you.
Now, does it leave any powder or anything behind that you got to take out to throw away? And can you put that in a compost right away, or garden, or?
Let me enunciate. It leaves ash, so you can throw it away.
You can put it on your driveway, Jason.
You could put it on your driveway. You could put it in your flower bed, as long as you're not eating the flowers. It probably wouldn't hurt. We're a firm believer of using the methods that Doug and Stacy use, humanure. That's a 3-year process. Unfortunately, the state of Texas has made that against the law, so can't do it. Which is why we opted to go with the incinerator.
Can you see the wheels turning in Jason's brain there?
How much electricity does your poo burner use?
It's a 110 outlet, literally. It's all it is. I promise there'll be a video up, Jason. I will send you a personal link.
Okay, yeah, you need to make one. Can you imagine me trying to sell this to Robin?
Yeah.
So here's the deal. We were going to buy one of those Sunmar composting toilets. It's the only thing that the state of Texas will allow you to use is a composting toilet or the incinerating toilet. And when I saw the incinerating toilet in action, if that's what you want to call it, it is phenomenal. And I could not have sold it to my wife had he not given it to us. Tim Turner, that friend that I told you that Blake introduced us to, he realized we had the situation. He gave us the toilet. And so we're just waiting to get electricity to plug it in.
Burning the poo.
Burning, that's exactly. Hey, you know what's amazing is you think it would need like a chimney flue going up to put the smoke out.
That's a lot of methane coming in there, especially if you ate Taco Bell.
No, there's no smoke. It burns so efficiently. It comes out and the tube goes out your house and it goes down. It doesn't have to go up. And I thought that was strange, but he said, no, it burns so efficiently that it doesn't have to. So let me explain. Let me give you some qualifiers. It has a little chute.
Jason, I put a link up there.
Incinelate, yeah. And you put wax paper in there, it catches everything. It catches number 2 or number 1, and then you push on the foot and it drops it into the pot. And then when you have enough in there and you're ready to burn it, you push the button and it burns, your choice, 15 up to 75 minutes, and it'll burn inside there. The heat One thing you don't want to do is open the lid while it's burning, because it's not getting a lot of oxygen. It's going to burn like embers. Once you open that up, it's going to flame up, and that's the biggest mistake you can make with an incinerator toilet.
Yeah, can't have that in my house.
Well, what happens is you get kids in there and they want to see, well, what does it look like when it's burning? And they open it up and, you know.
Yeah, I got kids that don't believe when stuff says highly flammable.
That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, just ask Blaze.
So
is that his nickname or his real name?
His real
That's
name.
his real name, and he tries to live by it. So this, I really don't want to spend the whole time talking about poo, but so you said you got pedals. Is it literally like driving pedals that you do, like when you're sitting down, dropping your deuce, and you got like a brake pedal and a gas pedal, or is it kind of like off to the side?
You got to look at it. If you follow the link, I think that Daryl dropped the link for Incinolette. It's stainless steel, first of all, so it's big and it's steel, okay? But it looks like a toilet. You put a regular lid on it, or you can get a stainless steel lid. They make them. But you do your business, and there's a pedal on the side. You step on that pedal, and the little funnel that holds it opens up, and the wax paper with all the stuff falls into the pot, and then that funnel closes back up. Okay.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then whenever
I'm looking
you
at
want
it
to
now.
start it, that closes it off from air because there's a seal on it. You just push the button at the top of the thing, and it sets the elements. It's kind of like, think of a dryer on steroids, and there you go.
And it's made in Dallas, Texas.
It is.
That's right, Sky. You got it.
My phone died, so I can't even see any of the chat.
Has a go pedal and grab handles for those late night Taco Bell runs. Oh.
Well, I said I couldn't see the chat at all. I really can't see it at all now. So if there's any questions, you're gonna have to tell me. My phone died.
Well, we got you if there's any questions.
Yeah, Mimsy. You can see a new t-shirt coming also.
Oh, speaking of shirts, and I'm not on camera, but I have one on as well. So,
Mountain Man Montana.
Mountain Man Montana, thank you so much for the shirts.
He's not in here tonight.
Yeah.
Which is unusual.
Well, we have promoted your channel. So if anybody would like for us to promote your channel, send us shirts, and we will wear them.
Robin and I, too, are doing that, too. We're jumping on that bandwagon. Also,
Yep.
the last Saturday of every month, you send us a T-shirt, we're going to wear it.
Yep. We'll do t-shirts or baseball caps. We're not proud. Yeah, John even sent additional ones for the grand girls.
Yeah.
They
Do
don't,
you know that
they don't
my
know that
two
yet.
family shirt,
Yes, Broussard, it is.
has
Yes.
been stolen from me?
Aw, who's wearing it to bed?
Carol.
See, I knew. So you need it. So we need to bring you a new one. Okay. And we need to give the girls their own, right?
Yes,
Okay.
because Carol's very funny. I'll ask, where's my two family shirt? I don't know. I haven't seen it. And then I'll wake her up and she's wearing it. What do you mean you haven't seen it? You got it on.
Well, she was sleeping. Her eyes were closed.
All right. Well, it's been a very interesting evening.
Yep, and John has to get up and go to school in the morning.
I want you guys to close your eyes. Everybody in the chat box right now, close your eyes and imagine me after this is over going into to Robin and say, You will never know what I just learned. You can buy a toilet that burns our poop.
Jason, you know how I convinced my wife was I took her up to Tim Turner's place up in, he's up near Fort Worth, and he has a little cabin he built, and he's got one of those toilets in his cabin, and if she hadn't seen it work, there's no way I could have brought this home. And it was a dual thing. He said, I'll give it to you because it's just wasting away in my shed, and I've got one that works, so if you want to see it work. And so if she hadn't seen it work, we probably wouldn't have took it home.
Oh, we're probably going to be lurking, waiting for your video. Because she already kind of, she's like, I guess we can do a composting toilet. Because I want to have a composting toilet on the basically over there on the outside, because I want to start doing the human manure. I want to be able to start taking it, putting it, because I got a spot that's perfect for us to just start to pile it up in so it can turn into compost, because I can't do anything with that. But I would want to have one just so I can say I burned poo.
Well, I'll be honest with you, they're not cheap. They're about $1,500 to $2,000.
Maybe I'll just come poo at your house.
Well, Jason, you can probably use it as a heater for cold days.
So I was telling
I didn't want to go there. But I was thinking to myself, what if I had like too much mead one time and I accidentally like hit the button while I'm still on the pooper? I would die.
As long as that thing's closed, you're good.
Aren't you glad you made this one, Brett? Not every Monday night you're going to hear this for a conversation. And when they say the conversation went down the toilet, it really did. It really did, folks.
You know, my very first video was about how we got rid of our black water from our RV. So
I'm sorry, I just never heard one of these, and to me it's fascinating.
So if you want to go off grid, this is not what you need. You need a composting toilet to go completely off grid, which is why Doug and Stacy have they do the bucket method, which we were doing, but we had to get rid of it. We have found a loophole. As long as everything's bagged, you can throw it in the public garbage.
Ed, say that 3 times fast. Big Bear Poo Burner home heating system. Not sure I want that to heat my home.
But look, John Seymour in his book, A Self-Sufficient Life on How to Live It, shows you the basics of setting up a methane burner to be able to heat your home with. And believe it or not, pigs
John's just putting his face in his hands.
I knew where I was going with this.
So I was just
on Thunderdome
thinking, you could cut out the pig and the middleman and just saying.
Yeah, Nathan, it does. You got to admit. Yeah, it does.
Look, when you're trying to be completely self-sustainable, you have to think outside the box, And if you got a tool that burns the poo that could possibly create the fuel to be able to turn into power, why would you not want to do that?
Oh yeah, be better than wind generation.
Yeah.
Of course, that can originate at the same place, I suppose.
Look, burning the methane off of like cow manure and pig manure produces a lot of energy.
Richard Barnes, that gives new meaning to put another log on the fire.
Well,
good,
you
Richard.
said it's better than wind energy, and I said, yeah, that's breaking wind energy.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I think maybe we best just revisit this subject at a future time.
When they say
I was more fascinated with their conversation about teaching. I don't know how I can tell my students, because they know that I'm doing this tonight. They heard about it. They looked me up. Some of them discovered that I had my own YouTube channel, and they found out that I was doing a live. So I've got kids watching right now that are in my class, and they're going to probably give me all kinds of holy hell tomorrow.
Oh, my.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate that.
Hey, no problem. They're going to be like, so who was that dude who kept talking about the poo? Was he like 6 or something?
Absolutely crazy.
Well, gives new meaning to the term Call of Duty.
Hey, see, now you got, when you can do the Teespring thing, you got your first T-shirt. I burn poo.
I burn poo.
Well, John, you got any last thoughts here? Any last words of wisdom?
I would like to encourage anybody that thought about homesteading and thought about trying to live debt-free to carefully consider it, all of the parameters that are involved, because a lot of the decisions we made, we probably could have thought them out a little better. And I would venture to say that taking your time and doing as much research as possible before you make any major decision, like buying a piece of property that doesn't have a well already on it, make that decision carefully, because living without water has taught us a lot of things. And one of the things it's taught us is that you never know what you got until it's gone. And so I would carefully consider trying to live an off-grid life unless you know exactly what you're doing, or at least you surround yourself with good people that know what they're doing. We had to learn from mistakes, and 19 months of living without a persistent water source was life-altering. I think even more so than reading that book I was talking about. So, yeah, I would definitely do your homework. Do your homework. If you want to be a homesteader and you want to be off-grid, you want to do all that, do your homework. And make sure you got enough money and you're debt-free to do it, because if you don't have the money to do it, you're not going to be prepared for it. It's a lot to put on your plate, and holding down a full-time job and trying to do the projects just wasn't something we could do. And it's one of the reasons why we moved where we did. I would definitely encourage anyone to do it if they felt so passionately involved, but to just do their homework. Just try to do it like I did. I mean, I was like, gung-ho, I want to do it, I want to do it, I want to do it. And we did it. We went and we bought an RV. We got the land pretty cheap, and we were all set to go, and forgot about water. And we thought, well, we can pull water in, and it was a lot more difficult than we thought. And you learn to conserve, and the word conserve means to save. And if you don't know what that means, you really need to learn about it. Yeah. Definitely do your homework before you become a homesteader that wants to be off-grid. You just can't do it.
Amen.
Okay,
I want to say, brother, kudos to you. You're a hero. Public school teachers are heroes. You're a hero. Keep doing what you're doing. Never lose that passion, because it's people like you that you're out there on the front lines. You're the Marines for the future of this country, education-wise. You're out there in the middle of the muck and the yuck, and you're in a thankless job that the individuals that you're trying to teach and stuff, they don't really know how much you matter, and probably until it's too late or 10 or 15 years down the road. From me, as a guy who never said thank you to any of his teachers, that really should go back and find them and say thank you to them, let me say from all of your students, thank you for what you do. Keep it up. Please don't lose that passion, because it's people like you that's going to help save this country.
Yeah. Yeah, we need more teachers that still give a darn about what they teach in their students.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Sherry, I think it's your turn. Let's get. Well, we're kind of thinking about it here. Let's see. It should.
Did you see Carol Ann's haircut?
Everybody gives a thumbs up if you would.
Lordy. Only Daryl.
Just me.
Just you.
So anyway, any last thoughts from you?
No, I've enjoyed tonight.
It's been a very interesting night. So with that, if everybody waves, we'll do this again next week. And next week we will have Sweet Pea Farm in New York.
Yes, sir.
So everybody have a wonderful week.
Carol Ann, I like your haircut.
We will see you all later. Night, folks.
Puts her hand through her hair.
Night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.